steps from the Capitol in Cheyenne with reporters in your hometown. These are the top stories from the Cowboy State Daily News Center.
It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Thursday, January 29th. I'm Mac Watson. A Green River judge on Wednesday hinted he'll send the animal cruelty case of Cody Roberts to a jury in 2 months. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that Judge Richard Lavery stopped just short of denying Roberts' argument for immunity, saying he'll file a written order later.
So Cody Roberts had argued via his attorney, Robert Piper, we have all these carve-outs to allow for the capture, hunting, killing, destruction of predators and some other wildlife in our state laws to where you can't be charged with felony animal cruelty if you're doing those things and you're doing it in a way that's not otherwise violating laws. So if you're following the trapping laws, can't be charged with animal cruelty for trapping an animal, that kind of thing. And so that argument came before Judge Lavery Wednesday in Sublette County District Court, but Lavery was in Green River. His attorney, Robert Piper, and the prosecutor, Sublette County Attorney Clayton Milinkovich, also appeared by virtual link with Judge Lavery in the Green River courthouse, which is his natural base. And they argued at length. They argued which witnesses are allowed, what kind of evidence is allowed. But the biggest argument was when Cody Roberts' attorney Robert Piper said, look, if you let this case go forward, it's going to upend Wyoming hunting laws because on a prosecutor's whim or the mob or social media or activist pressure, we could prosecute people for capturing animals in ways that we dislike. And Clayton Milinkovich, the prosecutor, countered saying, no, because there's a state of mind attached to the definition of animal torture. It's willful or malicious, willful and malicious, actually. So if you are just out shooting an elk and you're not being willful and malicious about watching it suffer, then we're not going to prosecute you for animal cruelty.
During Wednesday's court proceedings, Judge Lavery said two consequential things. One, the judge said he felt the defense was treating the exception too broadly. And two, he proceeded to plan many of the technical aspects of the trial, including wanting a panel of 31 jurors. A Buffalo Circuit Court judge Wednesday found that continued random alcohol testing was appropriate for State Representative Bill Alamand, despite his request that it be suspended during the budget session. Cowboy State Daily's Dale Killingbeck reports that Alamand's attorney argued that's unconstitutional.
Representative Bill Alamand and his attorney were in Buffalo Circuit Court today via video, and they were there because they wanted to change the bond that Representative Alamand was given after he was arrested for drunk driving back in December. And as part of that, he has to do testing, but according to information in the court today, the testing is the least possible, so it's only like once a month. But what came out today was that his attorney, through written argument and then in court today, argued that it's unconstitutional to have him tested because he's still innocent until proven guilty, and that the fact that he has no criminal record also is a reason why he shouldn't be tested. The judge recommended either he could buy a portable breathalyzer test, or he could go to a Laramie County place where he can do it around his legislative sessions and accomplish it that way.
State Representative Alamand is fighting a driving while under the influence of alcohol charge in Johnson County. According to court affidavits, the charge against Alamand stems from a report from a fellow driver headed northbound on I-25 around noon on December 28th, who told authorities that Alamand's blue Tacoma pickup was, quote, all over the road hitting rumble strips and varying speeds. A grizzly spotted out wandering in Yellowstone National Park on Monday might be up from hibernation. Cowboy State Daily's outdoors reporter Mark Hines reports the bear is incredibly early or awake incredibly late.
Bear sightings are not completely unheard of this time of year, but they are extremely rare. The interesting part here that, of course, nobody can know for certain, is this bear still out? Or did it just come out of the den and now it's going to stay out? Or did it just come out of the den for a short walkabout, maybe grab a snack and go back into its den? Nobody's been able to determine that. But again, it's unusual because a good general rule is the first bears, which are usually the great big gigantic dominant males, don't start really popping out of the den and getting active until the first week of March or so. And we've got one like an average size bear out running around in January.
Prominent bear expert Frank Van Manen tells Cowboy State Daily that this could be one of the earliest bear sightings on record. In a widespread statewide hoax, automated voicemails left at high schools around Wyoming threatened to detonate bombs and shoot up schools on Wednesday. Cowboy State Daily's Greg Johnson reports that authorities say that over a dozen schools in Wyoming got the same AI-generated threat.
They have ways, they have things that they check on where they can tell where a call originates from. In this case, it was outside the United States. And whoever left the message, either it was a digital message, it was total AI, using a robot voice, or it was something that disguised their voice to sound mechanical. And basically the threat, it was a pretty serious threat, even though they knew very quickly that it wasn't a credible threat, but it was that there was bombs in the school. It was the same threat sent to everybody.
Chance Wakama, Chief Deputy of Operations for the Laramie County Sheriff's Office, tells Cowboy State Daily that just because it's a threat generated by artificial intelligence doesn't mean they're harmless or that they're not taken seriously. I'll be back with more news from Cowboy State Daily right after this. WYDOT wants to remind you that seatbelts save lives. Make sure everyone in your vehicle is properly secured, including your littlest ones. Also, make sure your child seats are properly installed. This message is from the Wyoming Department of Transportation.
What if healthcare worked the way it should? Hoskinson Premier Care. Comprehensive quality care with one predictable fee. Unlimited office visits, annual wellness exams, preventative screenings, and advanced imaging. Primary and specialty care, in-house labs, mental health and wellness support, including physical therapy and nutrition. Just for $250 a month. No copays, no deductibles. World-class care right here in Gillette. We are the future of healthcare now, and your doctor works here. Visit HoskinsonHealth.com.
Cowboy State Daily News continues now. Wyoming Superintendent of Public Instruction Megan Degenfelder announced on Wednesday her office is launching an investigation into the special education program at Sweetwater County School District Number 1. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that the investigation comes after multiple non-compliance complaints.
This investigation is special ed, and there are really strict parameters. You've got federal law, you've got all sorts of mandates. And so this is Degenfelder saying, hey, this is an area where I really want to step in and make sure they're doing it right. She basically said, I don't like interfering with local control, but the uproar on this one, the complaints of non-compliance are pushing me to take a deeper look.
The Wyoming Department of Education says it will start a special monitoring process of special education practices and procedures, and it will start on February 3rd and continue through the 27th. Popular with photographers and wildlife watchers because of his remarkable size, a bull elk named Split 5 was legally killed by a hunter. Outdoors reporter Mark Hines reports that fans are mourning the loss of the gigantic bull elk that was part of the Estes Park, Colorado urban herd.
It's one of those celebrity animals that everybody knows, and now he's gone and people are sad about it. And I talked to a gentleman from Wyoming who is an elk hunter and a wildlife photographer, and he did go down there frequently, and he's got a lot of pictures and a lot of memories with the Split 5 bull. And he said, yeah, on one hand, it's sad. On the other hand, hey, if he was legally taken by hunters, that's great. And the bull was old anyway. The bull was probably about 13. If they're lucky, they live to be about 15.
After the news broke this week that Split 5 was gone, social media lit up with tributes to the legendary bull. A Carbon County, Utah deputy is in trouble after being accused of playing cornhole naked from the waist down. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi reports that Carbon County, Wyoming Sheriff Alex Bakken is making sure that people know that's a Utah deputy, not his.
A Carbon County Sheriff's deputy was spotted in their own driveway playing cornhole, what I dubbed commando cornhole, because they were wearing nothing below the waist, no pants, no underwear. And they were cited with 2 misdemeanors, one of which was obstruction of justice for trying to submit a false video as evidence after the fact. The thing is, this was Carbon County, Utah, not Carbon County, Wyoming. So a lot of people in Carbon County, Wyoming saw the headline and assumed it was one of their deputies, and Sheriff Alex Bakken went online to say, yes, this was a Carbon County Sheriff's deputy. No, it was not a Wyoming Carbon County Sheriff's deputy. Apparently, there are 4 Carbon counties in the United States, and sometimes people get confused, and this was one of those headlines that just popped out when you saw it.
Bakken said he got home and was settling in after a long day at work on the job on Tuesday when his phone started blowing up. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting that daily newsletter button at cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel or listen to us on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening. I'm Mac Watson for Cowboy State Daily.